How's it going, everybody? This is Chad from Vintage Space, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be doing a challenge, and what the challenge is going to be is to build a rocket, make it capable of going to the moon, and then launching it on the first try. If anything goes wrong, that's going to be the end of the video. So here we are at the Kerbal Space Center. I'm going to just dive right in. We're going to enter the vehicle assembly building. Alright, here we are. We're going to, of course, start with a command module. We're just going to build a basic rocket here. Small fuel tank below that. Actually, no, we're not going to do that because we actually want to save this capsule. Because there's going to be a Kerbal on it. Let's go ahead and stick a parachute on the top. Extra small. And we're going to place an engine below that. Fuel tank. We're going to go ahead and build our second stage. Actually going to try to build 3 stages here. We're going to go to the decouplers. I am trying to get used to the new graphical icons, figuring out where the parts are, so it does take a little bit longer for me to build rockets in here. Alright, I'm going to start fixing stages as I go, and of course the staging is buggy in this early access. You cannot move stages around, they'll just turn red, so you need to build a dummy stage, and you're going to pull the stages around, just like that, and now they're in order. Alright, let's continue on. Let's go pick a long fuel tank for the second stage. And for the engine, well, let's go with that popular LVT-45 swivel engine, which of course includes the thrust vectoring. Also, I want to put a decouple below that. There we go. Now for this bottom main core stage, I want to actually build the fuel tank longer than I did from up here. So we're going to do a small tank, but then we're going to add 2 smaller bits here. And then I want to widen the base because I want to put a bigger engine on the bottom. And to do that, we're going to go into structures and trusses, and we're going to pick an adapter to change the sizing. And I think it's this large one. Nope, actually it's going to be the medium one. Alright, this is what it's looking like so far. It's going to be a big, long rocket. Let's go ahead and put some fuel tanks below that, which now we're no longer going to use the SM parts. We're going to be using the medium-sized fuel tanks. We're going to go ahead and put just a few of these here. I'll just do this little short one here. Alright, let's go find a suitable engine for that fuel tank size. It's going to be one of the medium engines. We're going to do an RE I5 skipper. Alright, let's go ahead and put an engine below that. And we're going to check our engineer report to see if this is going to launch. We need at least over a 1 for a thrust to weight ratio for that to happen. Unfortunately, we're just sitting at 1.002, so we're going to need to add boosters. Alright, and to attach boosters to the fuel tank, we're going to use a different set of decouplers called these radial decouplers. Hit X 3 times to do 4 times symmetry, and go ahead and place those just like that. Alright, let's go pick some boosters. They're going to be under the engine sections, somewhere in the middle here. Let's do VACC numbers. You'll probably recognize these boosters from KSP2. And we'll line up that dot right there, and they should align. We want to actually double check and verify that the boosters are perfectly aligned on the decouplers, in which they are. Let's go ahead and save the craft. Let's not worry about what we're saving. Alright, we're going to check that engineer's report again, and we got 2.045. It's a little bit too much, but we'll manage. We're going to go ahead and top these boosters off with some aerodynamics so that we can reduce drag. Let's pop off these 4 SM size nose cones. Alright. And let's go ahead and just check our staging here. We got the boosters firing, the radial decouplers. We're going to need to change that. Let's go ahead and add a dummy stage below that and throw in our first stage engine. Alright, we're going to move up the way. Decoupler, engine will fire. I like the hot stage, so I will just share the 2 stages together. And then there's that. Alright, we're almost good to go here. The last thing I want to do is place some aerodynamic fins just to help with stability, because this is a long rocket. We're going to place 4 of these on the sides of the boosters. And I think we're good to go. Now, we're probably not going to worry about struts because this game does have built-in struts. However, I probably still need to test that out just to be sure. We're going to go ahead and just save the craft. Alright, so before we put this thing out on the launch pad, I do want to check that engineer's report again. And also our trip planner to make sure that it does have the Delta V capability of going to the moon. And it says your craft design looks good. Alright. Gonna go ahead and hit launch. Alright, here we are on the launch pad. Alright, look at that thing in its red and silver glory. Let's throttle up and hit launch. Gotta love that new Kerbal countdown that they added in this game. Get ready for frames per second hell. Here we go. To the Mun. So I'm going to go to the map view and I'm just going to target the moon while this thing is doing its ascent. I'm going to fly straight up as well. Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the controls here and I'm going to point it at the target. I'm going to do that as soon as I actually break the atmosphere. It wouldn't hurt to do a small gravity turn. I can't do much with just this one little engine here, because it's trying to steer this big heavy stack with the 4 boosters, so it's not doing a really good job. However, I think we're going to make it. We're already 11K in altitude, and we've got booster separation, and firing the core engine, which I should have done on the launch pad. But hey, this is why we test. I'm actually amazed that the thrust-to-weight ratio has maintained a positive rate despite me firing the engine this late. And then, of course, I don't decouple the boosters. Carrying all that dead weight, you don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and target the moon right now. And I'm just going to go try to do a crash trajectory of the moon. Alright. Beautiful skybox. Beautiful sunset there at Kerbal. Ah, this is glorious. I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward until we get closer to the moon to see if we can make it. Alright, so we're 70K in altitude. We've got 1 kilometer in orbital velocity, but we're not getting into orbit, so that's okay. We are headed straight to the moon to see if we can do a ballistic trajectory. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle through all these engines here. We are on the 2nd stage now. Alright, while this is going, I do want to make you guys aware that at the Cape Canaveral, there has been some bit of news that a film crew has been at Kennedy Space Center filming an upcoming vintage space movie called Project Artemis. And this movie stars Channing Tatum, and I'm actually going to link a video in the description. That video is up and running right now, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so that engine ran out of fuel, and we are on the last stage. I'm going to go to the map view just to kind of give a point of reference here of what's going on. Now, I don't know what that is. That is pretty interesting. So if somebody in the comment section can tell me what this blue radial thing is, that would be great. And we got about half a tank of fuel left in this final stage. Once this stage extinguishes, I'm going to then fast forward the video to see if this thing makes it to the moon or not. Alright, so that stage has ran its course. We're going to go ahead and fast forward in the map view to see if we will make it. Oh, look at that. Oh, not quite. Your vehicle has ran out of fuel. Alright. Well, let's just check to see this other view here to see what it looks like. Very nice. Well, that's going to do it for this video. The challenge has been completed, and it's been a great success. Alrighty, guys. Well, I will see you guys on the launch pad.